Coming up later on today's show, we're going to have the latest on Andrew Wiggins and his status going forward with Golden State, so be sure to stick around for that. Welcome in to Golden State Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I am Will Scott. We have a loaded show for you guys today. We're going to start talking about maybe trading for OG Anunoby in the offseason. Gary Payton also spoke, of course, that wild situation took place in the days after the deadline. He spoke out about that. Plus, Andrew Wiggins, his injury situation. We'll break that down later on today's show, so be sure to stay tuned for that. And we're on the road to 50,000 subscribers. Need 2,937 more. Help us get there. That's a really big deal for any channel at Chat Sports to hit 50K, so be sure to subscribe. And I'm being told that producer Jack Lauderay is going to do a Gatorade bath if we get to 50K. Can I pour the Gatorade on you? I'm looking forward to that. Please, guys, go down, subscribe to the channel right now. We begin with this trade rumor about OG Anunoby because NBA Analysis mocked a Warriors trade for OG Anunoby, talking about the possibility of making a deal with the Raptors this offseason. Here is their trade idea. Warriors receive OG Anunoby, the Raptors forward. He'd be giving up Jonathan Kuminga, Gary Payton, and 3 first-round picks. Of course, Anunoby was very much involved in NBA trade rumors before this year's deadline, but the Raptors held on to him for now. Maybe they'll revisit a trade this offseason. Here's what NBA Analysis said about the trade. By contrast, this is strictly a win-now move for the Warriors. They're trying to extend their dynasty. Adding Anunoby would be a smart way to do it. This is one of the best 3-and-D wings in the National Basketball Association. In adding him to a core that already features Andrew Wiggins and Draymond Green, the Warriors would be enhancing what's already been an elite defense. So NBA Analysis, saying it's a win-now move. Obviously, though, you cannot make this trade now. You'd have to make this trade in the offseason. But let's say Golden State has a disappointing finish to the year, and they're kind of struggling right now. Let's say they have an early playoff exit, or even worse, don't make the playoffs. You'd have to think that Bob Myers and company would be pretty aggressive. Like they said, trying to extend the dynasty. They could do that by bringing in a really good player in Anunoby. I'm a really big fan of his. Would you trade for OG Anunoby, the Raptors forward? Type T for trade or P for pass down in the comment section. It is the pinned comment. So be sure to go down and reply to it when ad break comes in 3, 2, 1. You should absolutely consider it. I think you should absolutely call the Raptors about this offseason, because whenever you have a player that's in trade rumors at the deadline, they might be in trade rumors again in the offseason. I think Anunoby might be one of those guys. Taking a look at what he's done the last 4 years, 47 games this year, 16.6 points per game, 5.5 rebounds per game, 2 steals per game. He's pretty good defensively, 45.5% field goal percentage after putting up 17.1 points per game last year. Like I said, defense is really a strength of Anunoby, and it would be adding an elite defender to an already really stacked lineup. And I think that's an underrated part of Anunoby's game, 2 steals per game this season, what he brings to the table defensively as well, a really good two-way player in Toronto. You can go bet on the Dubs at chatsports.com/bet. And if you put in that promo code, you're going to get a 125% deposit bonus on BetUS. So you go to chatsports.com/bet, put in that promo code, and get that deposit bonus. Taking a look at the odds for the Western Conference Finals, Suns plus 235, Denver plus 350, LA, the Clippers plus 550, the Dubs at plus 700, and the Grizzlies at plus 700. Who's going to win the Western Conference Finals? You can go bet on the Dubs plus 700 right now. That means if you put $100 down, you can win $700. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code CHAT125. Coming up, we're going to have the latest news on Andrew Wiggins and his status with the Warriors. But first, let's talk about Gary Payton. He speaks about the trade, his injury, and more for the first time. Of course, there was a lot of speculation that trade might get might get canceled or vetoed because of his failed physical. Taking a look at what the Warriors got here, they got Gary Payton, 2 second-round picks. Blazers got Kevin Knox. This was a 4-way deal, by the way. 5 second-round picks. The Pistons got James Wiseman. The Hawks got Sadiq Bey. It was hard to keep up with it that day. I was live on Chat Sports when that trade went down. It was like, what's going on here? And then it got even more crazy in the coming days because Payton failed his physical. There was some stuff about him taking injections just to be able to play in Portland, and the Trailblazers kind of mishandling that situation. So it was just kind of a crazy couple of days wondering if this trade was actually going to go down. It did eventually get processed. Here's what Gary Payton said. He was blindsided about the trade. Shocked me just like it shocked everyone else. 10 minutes before the trade deadline, I was notified. So Payton did not expect it to get traded. I'm sure he's happy to be back in Golden State, a place that he had a lot of success in his career. But the addition of Payton to the trade was obviously surprising. When the trade first went down, we were kind of like, wait, why did they trade James Wiseman and only get second-round picks and all this? Well, then it came out that Gary Payton was involved. And the failed physical was even more surprising. We did not know kind of Gary Payton's injury situation. Here's what he said about that. Not really. I kind of knew where my body was, how it was, and everything, so I wasn't surprised. It was out of my hands. I just had to tell them what it was and go from there. And they certainly need Payton and Curry back soon. I remember when they made this trade, I'm like, man, it's great. Gary Payton can, kind of help fill the void of Steph, and both of them are not on the floor right now. So once they get those guys back, I think it's going to be a big boost to this team. Taking a look at what Payton did in Golden State in his career with the Dubs, 4.8 points per game, 2.3 rebounds per game, shot nearly 70% with a 42.9% three-point mark. This season in Portland, after signing that contract, 4.1 points per game, 2.6 rebounds per game, 58.5% from the floor. Meanwhile, shot over 50% from three. Now, was the trade for Gary Payton the right move? 1 for yes, 0 for no down in the comment section. I think we're going to know when he comes back and gets healthy that it was the right move for this Golden State team. As promised, here is the latest on Andrew Wiggins. Head coach Steve Kerr updated us on his status, saying this, according to CJ Holmes, tweeted this out. Steve Kerr reiterates there's no timeline for Andrew Wiggins' return as he remains away from the team because of a family matter. So hope all is well with the Wiggins family. Hope everything is okay. Certainly thinking about Andrew. But we just mentioned Gary Payton's out, Steph Curry's out. Now you're without Andrew Wiggins as he's dealing with a family matter. And, of course, Draymond Green as well. So with Golden State struggling right now and with them kind of on the verge of falling out of a play-in position, they certainly need the full squad back sooner rather than later. And I do believe that when the Warriors are fully healthy, they are a legitimate contender in the West. They just have to get healthy to be able to make the playoffs. I think a lot of people are kind of concerned about the Warriors even making the playoffs right now. Will the Warriors make the playoffs? I'm not talking about the play. I'm talking about the playoffs. I'm talking playoffs here. Playoffs? Shout out Jim Moore. Y for yes, in for no, down in the comment section. Go down and let me know. I would say yes. I think the Lakers and the Warriors are both going to make the playoffs, probably coming out of the play-in. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to have you covered with more Golden State Warriors news and rumors. Obviously, a lot of news with all these injuries.